That being said, our main topic this week was just basically our most anticipated game for the second half of the year. So I'm going to caveat this. No Halo. You can't talk about Halo. Halo cannot be your most anticipated game.
But it is.
I know, we need to pick a different one. Because we just talked about Halo. I knew we would talk about Halo.
Yeah, and we've talked about Halo pretty much on every podcast. I'm pretty sure I found a way to weasel.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't pick Halo. You need to talk about something else.
Fine, I'll just talk about Battle. Well,
most anticipated game, not one that's come out.
Wait, are we talking about this today or next one?
Now.
Oh, now, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
So let's talk.
What's yours? I want to hear yours.
No, I'm talking about games that are coming out. Okay, Phantom Pain.
I know what? Yeah.
Oh no,
No.
not yet. Phantom Pain.
Okay.
Okay. Battlefront.
Okay.
Tomb Raider. Gears remastered. Yes, yeah, that's what I was hoping to get. Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it digitally to have it, and it's gonna be whatever. But
right. So, games coming out. That's just what I've thought of so far, off the top of my head.
Mad Max. Well, okay.
Mad Max.
Do you want to break down? I got a list
Go
for the rest of the year.
Write it. Throw it out.
So let's see. Smite Open Beta. That's a free game technically, but all right.
Jeez, dude. Jeez, dude.
I know.
Run the struggle bus.
All right, so we got Madden, whatever. We got.
Don't you whatever Madden. It's fantastic games.
You know it's the same thing every year.
Actually, I hope. Here's my real quick rant on Madden. Hey EA, if you didn't fix franchise mode this year and put it back to what it used to be, and how it worked, and how easy it was to navigate, go fuck yourselves. I'm not buying your game unless you fix franchise mode and make it what it fucking should be. Okay, move on.
So anyways, in August we got Gears of War, Madden, Until Dawn, and I guess honorable mention for Disney Infinity 3.0. In September we got Mad Max, Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain, Super Mario Maker. We got Forza Motorsport 6, Mighty Number 9.
Game.
You got Mighty Number 9. You got NHL 16 as well. We'll get the Elder Scrolls Online Imperial City DLC for Xbox One and PS4.
That'll be free, or is that extra?
I think that's extra. Also, it comes out on Xbox One a day earlier than PS4.
Wait, I thought it came out a week early. I could be wrong.
Nope, it comes out on 15th, PS4 16th. We also get FIFA 16, Lego Dimensions. I'm actually kind of interested in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got your Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 in September as well. So big month for September. October, we got Rock Band 4.
Sadly,
Rainbow Six
real quick
Siege.
about September. Hang on, about September. Hang on.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's not being bought.
What do you mean?
I was thinking about it. I'm not going to buy Tony Hawk.
I'm going to buy it, so don't.
Do you know why I'm not, though?
Because it looks like shit.
No. I'm spending $250 on a Halo Collector's Edition.
Why are you doing that again when you don't like Halo?
Because I want it. For the sake of having a collector something.
You pre-ordered that before you even knew. That's like something I did on blind faith because I trusted 343. You didn't even know, and now you know that there's these cool statues that come with it. But these are statues you don't even care about.
It's never being opened.
You're not even gonna put the statues on the shelf.
It's never being opened.
What?
It's gonna be sealed forever. It's gonna sit on the shelf.
Okay.
Anyways. You're gonna come over to my house. You're gonna take a knife and go right down the middle. I'm gonna be so pissed. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely need to go into budget mode though, because I'm gonna be in California for like a week in September too.
And also, I don't. That's why I didn't pull the trigger on the PC either.
That makes sense.
You gotta save some monies.
Yeah.
And I gotta buy a house.
And in October, this is what's also gonna. This is gonna be October is gonna be hefty for me. So we got Rock Band 4, $250 going down on that for me. We got Rainbow Six Siege, obviously gonna get that. And then we got Guitar Hero Live. Cool thing about that, I don't have to buy all the other stuff, just the guitar. We got Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I'll let you buy that one. And we'll get Halo 5 Guardians. So.
I was waving the copper wire.
What's up, Copperwire 130? Hello, mate.
You know what we need to start doing when we have people hop in and say hello? We need to start figuring out we need to start deciding what their name means. Does this person like copper wire? And what does 130 mean?
Is that how he makes a living off of copper
Selling
wire?
copper wire.
In the 130 area code district? I don't know.
Is there an area code that's 130?
I have no idea,
I don't
dude.
think
I'm
so.
just trying. Okay. Anyways, all right. So for November,
Go ahead.
honestly, November, it feels like a big month. There's a lot more games coming out in September than there are in November, to be honest.
Yep.
But there's a lot of big AAAs coming out in November. So we've got Need for Speed. We've got Peanut Snoopy Ground Adventure. No, I'm just kidding. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Fallout 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider, The Crew, Wild Run, Expansion Pack, and Star Wars Battlefront. So those are some pretty solid ones. The biggest killer about this is that. Oh yeah, that's right. Because Call of Duty Black Ops comes out on a Friday this year. Because I was about to be like, Call of Duty, Fallout 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider all drop on the same day, but they actually don't. So
Same pay week though.
yeah, and yeah, true. And then December is December's kind of weak if you ask me. We've got Just Cause 3, Trackmania
Usually
Turbo,
is,
which
though.
I'm actually really excited for that. And that, but see, like last year we had like.
If you guys haven't seen
like,
Trackmania, by the way, go watch
it
some
looks
E3
crazy
videos.
awesome. Yeah,
Just-
Trackmania looks.
Great idea. We'll see how the gameplay ends up being, but
Have you ever
phenomenal
played
idea.
Trackmania before though?
No.
I've played it on PC before with a mouse. I'm very excited to play it on a controller though.
It's a great idea of a game.
Very fun.
Check it out. And I don't think it's going to be full 60 retail either.
I don't think so either. And then we have Hitman on Xbox One. Now we also have a long list here of games confirmed for 2015 but undated. Let me see if any big ones like stick out. There's a
Copperwire. I like that.
Battle Cry, Below.
So let's go slow. Battle Cry. I don't think that's this year.
I don't think it's this year
So
either.
skip. Below.
I want it to be this year,
It's
but
not
I
going to
don't
be.
know.
It wasn't at E3. I doubt it's going to be. It wasn't even on the floor, according to reports. So next,
Bastion.
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 Okay, that's a Vita release, so it doesn't matter.
Well, what about your good old Broforce on PS4 and Vita?
I doubt it's going to be this year. I think they're going to get out of the way.
Fair
Everyone's
enough.
gonna get out of the way.
Although it's a re-release, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. It's an amazing game.
That'll come out
if
this
you guys
year.
haven't played it, it was an Xbox One exclusive before, but now it's coming
iOS.
out. It's a very interesting
come out.
gameplay. It'll come out this year because it really is just an up-port. Let's see. I'm skipping a lot of these because
I
I
know.
really just. Dishonored Definitive Edition. They did say something about that at E3, but
They didn't
we
give
have
any sort of
say
date.
it.
I don't remember a 2015 on that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you can yell at Game Informer, but if anybody knows when games are coming out, it's gonna be Game Informer because cough cough GameStop. But
Right.
let's see, Fable Legends. That actually, yeah, no,
That is
we
coming out.
don't
That's
have-
October. There's a new confirmed date. It's October.
Oh, okay.
Late October.
Wait, isn't Farming Simulator 2015 already on the PS4?
Yeah. Why? What is it saying?
Because it's on this list.
Well, I reviewed
All
it
right,
for the PS4.
so okay,
yeah.
so now we know to take this list with a grain of salt. It's about to be
Who's
like
it
that's
from?
not right.
Who are you reading from?
The Game Informer. 2015 video game release schedule.
What's the date?
Last updated July 8th, 2015 at 10:30 a.m. Pacific
weeks ago.
Standard Time. So somebody's slacking.
Weird. Okay, so Farming Simulator 15 is already out. If you haven't played that game, check it out. It's fun.
Or not. I'm just kidding.
It's fun to play with a friend.
Yeah. If you're not tired.
That's true. Kyle, you just wanted to get off
Uh,
the game that night.
No, I didn't. Don't make me the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy.
You quit on me. You went and played something else, and you're like, oh, it's lagging.
Yeah, because I was falling asleep and it was a miserable gameplay experience because it was lagging.
Well, that's your fault. You need to get some more gigabytes
Oh,
down.
finally, yeah, we'll finally get Octodad Deadliest Catch on Xbox One.
Let's skip over that.
Never.
No, I mean, like, yeah, it just doesn't
Um,
matter.
Wait, Project Cars is coming to Wii U.
Yeah, I heard that. That was one of their stretch goals.
Fair enough.
Guess they never thought they'd.
You see the Shenmue 3 $6 million plus
Yeah, don't talk
kickstarted.
to me about that.
Why?
I think it's ridiculous.
I'm so excited about it because further proof that it doesn't matter.
Well, the problem is also you forget they already sold all the copies of that game
What do you mean?
via Kickstarter.
Yeah, okay, so I'll be real though. Tell me, would you not love a situation where it's like, hey, you know that game you've always wanted a sequel to, like Crimson Skies or Mech
No.
Warrior for the
No.
Xbox? Well, okay.
Never thought that.
You really don't want a Mech Warrior reboot?
No, doesn't matter to me. If you told me
You
that
are
Jack and
not.
Daxter was getting a reboot and it was going to be good, I'd probably make out with you.
But let's put that into context then. Fine, a PS2 classic that you might want to see a reboot on. If Sony was like, if this gets funded, if you guys essentially pre-order and buy the game ahead of time, it'll come out eventually.
I would personally
you not-
donate $2,000.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is what they did is they identified that this is kind of a niche classic and that people are really hungry for this game. So instead of taking a chance on it, they were like, hey, we're just going to put your Kickstarter on our main stage.
One vote for yours in chat, one vote for mine.
Look,
Boom.
we're not either way. All you have to do though is put the games that you believe might do good, but you don't know if it's a good investment on stage to announce their Kickstarter at E3. And guess what? You get to launch an exclusive game, and then
I don't know. I'm just not in love with it. I don't love that. I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems weird to me. Anyway, go
Star
ahead.
Fox Zero.
That will come out this year. I
But
believe that.
But when? Because
I don't know. I'm gonna say December. It sounds like a Nintendo time.
Okay.
They'll do Nintendo. They'll do December.
It says World of Tanks on the Xbox One, but that's already out. Yeah, so that's about it.
You're welcome, world, for that.
I mean,
bird.
there's a lot of things on this list, but in the end, the only things that matter.
So what's your most anticipated of that list?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If
If you're not gonna let me say Halo, I'm going to go Star Wars Battlefront.
Yep. Brian called that out in chat too. Very excited for Battlefront. What makes you excited about Battlefront?
Well, Star Wars. Need I say more?
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, honestly, it's just probably back to what you need, right?
It is. So
Just back to what you.
I don't. Yeah, sorry. Copperwire said, "Hey, I know it's off topic, but we need a FPS of Nam or Vietnam." Funny thing about Black Ops 2, or was it 1? One of the Call of Duty Black Ops, or Treyarch essentially had developed a third-person Vietnam-based shooter. My only concern with a Vietnam-based shooter, I don't really know, because like I'm sure you remember back in the PS2 days with SOCOM and stuff, where we had so many like wannabe shooters come out on the PS2. Or like they were shooters.
Hold on. Are you calling SOCOM a wannabe shooter? Or are you
No.
saying
I'm
the
saying
copycats?
like it's part of that SOCOM era, like the copycats, like the Vietnam copycats. That were like
check
it's
yourself
modern
before
war.
wreck yourself.
But I think the reason why we don't really have a Vietnam game yet is because a couple of things, and maybe I'm totally off base on this, and you guys can check me if I am. But the Vietnam War was one that we could argue we miserably lost. So we don't really want to benefit from profits with it. Like that game would get some heat from Fox News. Not that anybody cares, but what Fox News has to say. But it's there's also a lot of people that are still alive that fought in Vietnam and maybe would not take too kindly to that game. So a part of me wants to say that I would like to see that experience. I would like to kind of, while we still have those people alive, get really tactical feedback on actually what happened, what they saw with their own eyes, and really like how bad that war really was. Because I think that, you know, that one was one of the most influential in shaping the people that came back from Vietnam. I don't think anybody, culture shock wise, was as affected as the people during that kind of era, especially like the people that were recruited and then eventually like ran out of the country, because that was, during the 70s, and that huge like push, like I'm being drafted. Like that was the last time we were drafted as a country and different things. I feel like I'm going on a Colin Moriarty rant without without context or that historical background, but in the end, I just think that war is still very sensitive to the United States, and part of me just thinks that a lot of game developers know to kind of stay away from it, to just be like, hey, out of respect, I think we're gonna leave this alone for a little bit. I don't know if you would agree with me, Copperwire. It's just a concept. I'm not saying that's the definitive reason why we haven't seen a Vietnam game, but I think it's an interesting theory.
But I agree with you, but I also think that, kind of it's a weird time, right? It's a weird time in our history. A lot of people, if you think back, it was kind of the first war that wasn't 100% supported by the United States and its people, right? It was the first one where people were really, like, you always had people who were protesting a war, right? But the Vietnam War was one where, like, for the most part, you talk to any historian, we had no business being there. We really didn't. And we spent a lot of time losing people. And so I think what you have is people, the story would be sad. The entire thing would just be sad and horrible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's just the thing now. And this is, I'm not trying to get political here, and like we're not trying to Moriarty it up, right? But the fact is that, for the most part, troops aren't greatly supported in this country anymore, as in general, and we look at the sad things that are happening in the news, and we couldn't get our White House to even go half-mast on the flag. And I don't want to feed into the social media junk with that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time,
I just feel like it's a given, honestly, though. It's like people were killed, specifically targeted Marines were killed on our...
You dropped the flag.
Yeah, you dropped the flag. There's no question. It doesn't matter if it was a civilian. It doesn't matter if it was a extremist. It doesn't matter if it was a Marine itself. You dropped the flag. You dropped the flag.
But meanwhile, and here's the other thing, and please understand, at the beginning and near the middle of this podcast, Kyle and I both show great support for the gay, transgender community, right?
Multiple communities, yeah.
Thank you. Do you know what picture decided to come out of the White House during this time? Acceptance bathroom. A bathroom that was for anybody, transgender, whatever. You can't lower the flag? I just don't understand that type of situation, right? And so my point is, I'm not trying to say bad things about President Obama or his administration or anything like that. What I'm saying is that in general, when my dad was younger, if a military, anybody got killed on our soil and it was a tragedy, the flag was dropped. It was put at half-mast. And it's kind of sad that doesn't happen anymore. So bringing it back around, I think that we will never get a historical video game, first-person shooter, like Medal of Honor, like World at War, ever again. We just won't. Because when I played Medal of Honor, Frontline, and I stormed the beaches of Normandy, which is what my grandfather did, that was kind of a cool moment for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really was.
It was kind of one of those moments where it was just like, my grandpa did this.
Right? I got goosebumps thinking about it. Like, because, we watch so much History Channel on things that happen. We've heard our grandparents and our great uncles and, all these people talk about what World War II was. And honestly, like, when I look at World War II and understanding that every war that America's ever been in has a historical significance where we had profit to be made in it. War is profit. I'm not going to argue outside of that. But there was a significant tragedy.
Our economy boomed.
Yeah.
Whenever we're at war.
But at the same time, though, there's a very specific direct correlation to what happened in Germany and how that needed to end, and the fact that, like, we have family and we were able to relive essentially that moment that is so like you look at it and you really just can't put it into context. Like, part of me does want to see see it on next gen, you know, to make it more real, or to do it with an Oculus Rift to understand how serious storming the beaches of Normandy really was, because like we have this arcade version of it. We, you know, and I almost hate even saying the word arcade with anything related to war, because it's like,
it wasn't.
but
But for us at the time, those graphics were so real. You know what I mean?
it was but that was like one of the hardest missions though. You could not stay in cover if you didn't take out the machine gunner. You would just get ran through, you know. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It was a cool idea, but I think we're just at a point where it's like first person shooters are more focused on the competitive aspect of the multiplayer and less on the historical side. And I think Call of Duty also definitely they took a step and started going more off the rails in regards to, we're going to make our own story, and then now we're going to make a futuristic story, and now we're going to create an entire like universe within these different series, you know, because
and they're still hitting a political agenda as well.
Yeah, and they're still,
you know, they're still hitting a political agenda. Yeah.
Yeah, and then as far as like Medal of Honor goes, it's an EA game, and it's like, why do we make Medal of Honor when we can put our efforts into Battlefield?
And Medal of Honor, the reboot, did terrible. So
yeah. Well, it was like playing the exact same game though.
Yeah, I think for what you have to look at too, and you know, here's the thing too. Kyle and I don't claim to know what goes on in the entire world, right? No. We're not sitting in President Obama's chair, okay? Everybody knows that I didn't vote for him. Everybody knows, right? But also at the same time, he sits in that chair every single day and makes hard decisions. I don't agree with what he does half the time. I don't. But also at the same time, he deserves my respect because he's still my president. I can disagree with him, and I have the right to say that I don't agree with him, and I think that we should be proud of that as Americans. That's awesome. But the fact is that I don't know what President Obama looks at every single day. I don't know why we are still in the Middle East. I don't understand why, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand. There's a whole bunch of things to get into to pull people out. I get it. It's not easy. And then also, if you're not in the military, you may not realize this. We pretty much have a freaking base in every single country, if not multiple, right? They're everywhere, right? And we have to keep soldiers there, and we have to keep people protected. And, you know, that's not my mentality of what I would want the United States to be. I'm a very hands-off the world thing. Let's watch our backyard, right? But the fact is, you look at all that, kids these days don't care about the historical significance. They don't care that this really happened. They don't care that people died. And, you know, now we're looking to a future. And I personally, if I'm in Call of Duty shoes, I know that someone is coming to that meeting when Treyarch's done with this one, right? They're going to release Blops 3. They're probably already set up and working on the next one, right? They already had the planning meetings. They all went, all right, let's sit down. What's the next one going to be? We got to do Black Ops 4? I know someone is sitting there going, man, I think it'd be great if we did a World at War again. I think this is a great campaign. Here's my storyboard. Here's what we got. Someone puts that every single time. And I guarantee it gets shot down because all the rest of the people in the world sit in the room and go, we can't do anything with that because we don't want to get hit politically. Do you know what I mean? Meanwhile, they can think future with robotics and what makes a man, right? What makes a man anymore, right? They can do that, right? Because we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about what someone who went through it actually is thinking about. And I think we will never see a Vietnam game or a past war game again. And it's really
it's kind of like something like Brian Altano had said once before on a podcast. Like somebody asked, like, would you ever want to see like a 9/11 game?
Yeah, I remember him saying that's a deep cut, Kyle. That was a long time ago. Wow.
It was a long time ago.
Wow.
And essentially he went on a rant that said like it would take 100 years because, you know, you'd have to wait till pretty much everybody who was alive when that happened was like dead and gone. So you just did not politically, you know, really dig into people.
And then the children who lost their parents.
Aspects. Exactly. And so and the even grandchildren at that point too. Yeah. You know, it's just like there is a long list of people, but at the same time, like I'm not thinking of that. I honestly, call me heartless because I'm
Heartless.
viewing this from an artistic perspective, but we made movies about it. We've made books about it. You know, they're why can't we have a game about it, I guess? Like
I also don't think we should have made a movie about it, but that's just me.
yeah, but you know, for me, I would love playing a game where you take the place of multiple people from multiple perspectives and you are unaware that the game has anything to do with this event. You know, like you don't even see the event,
Um,
but you experience the average life of the day of a New Yorker.
yes.
Wait,
Oh,
and you'll
crap.
see like a timestamp here and there. You'll see like the date on maybe some papers. You'll be in a building. You're walking to the Twin Towers. You know, just experiencing it, and then just at the end, just like white flash, and just be like, you know, and then in remembrance of, but not actually, you know, like tell compelling stories about people and families, and actually make a collective memorial to the people that were known to have
Yep.
passed in that. And I think that would be a really nice nod to remembrance versus
Yep.
like I'm gonna play a first person shooter where like there's a whole scene about this, you know?
I also think though too, you know, oh crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm blanking now. Oh,
Yeah, that
oh no,
happened a
I'm not saying
lot.
don't watch this movie. I'm not telling you to go watch this movie or anything.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Remember Me
Yep.
with
the
Robert
Twilight dude.
Pattinson
Yeah.
and this other girl. The entire movie is a simple love story.
Yep, and
Nothing.
that's exactly what I
And
was
then,
thinking about.
end of the movie.
He goes to see his dad. Well, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert: this is a really old movie. Don't go
Yeah.
watch it. The whole of the movie, part of the movie, is crap, in my opinion. But
I thought it was a decent movie, but there's this really touching part where like he has like a disconnect with his dad, and he actually goes out of his way. Doesn't he like skip something really important to go? He goes to see his dad in the office. His dad works in the towers, and the plane hits as he's like waiting to see his dad and like talk it out.
Yep.
So anybody with dad problems, tears up.
well, at all,
Me.
like anyone, even dads with kids, period. Right?
Right.
You know, it's just always going to be that way. So, anyway, we are
This is a
over
gaming
on.
podcast.
I know we're over on time. Copperwire, thank you very much for that discussion topic, though. That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Just some things that you said. Copperwire's dad was a veteran in Vietnam, and so we thank him for his service. Really, that's awesome. You know, it's hard to sit here and say that that's what it is, but if you have a veteran in your family, just thank them. Seriously, thank them as much as possible, even if they're jerks. You know, if they've done service, active duty, working behind the scenes, guys, seriously, we don't even want to know what they do half the time. Same thing like
Yep.
you don't want to know the fact that President Obama wakes up every single day at 8 a.m. or whatever, walks into his office, and there are 12 people with a line saying, well, we got to focus on this. Well, so-and-so, Halad Assad, whatever his name is doing this. Well, this is what's going on in Russia. Putin's doing this. Well, you know, every single day.
Right.
We don't want to
Watch
know what
House
that
of
is.
Cards, and then I mean honestly, after watching House of Cards, even though I know it's like way off, I do have a little bit more respect for anybody who takes that seat.
Yep, and also you have to remember, and here's the other thing too, hold your senators to a higher standard.
Oh,
Hold
for
your
sure.
congressmen
Because
to a higher
really,
standard.
really, they're the people that
They're the people that voted themselves to have a full-time job doing that. When House of Representatives was only supposed to be a part-time job, and an honor to serve in Congress was the only thing that's supposed to be a full-time job. Even then,
Yeah.
it wasn't a full-time job. You just had a whole crap ton of money, and you had the time to do it. So anyway,
history.
yes. So Copperwire, thank you very much for that. My most anticipated game of the year. This is what I was going to talk about. Until Dawn. It's my most anticipated game of the year.
Really?
Can't wait.
You just like Hayden Panettiere or
Hayden Panettiere. No, it's not even that. It's the fact that it's supposed to be short,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to be you can finish it down the whole story in 2.5 to 3 hours, supposedly, and you can play again. And there's thousands of ways that game can end because of the amount of people that are in the game. When they die, how they'll die. You don't always play as one person. The embargo went up this week for it so that people could actually talk about it in our games industry. Holy poop. I'm just really excited about that game because I loved Heavy Rain, and it's kind of in the same breath. But with Heavy Rain, it
Okay.
was so long that I didn't want to go back and play again. So,
right.
hey, Copperwire, great question. We do these Monday, 8 p.m. for the 8:30 p.m. for the most part, Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you look at our actual channel, it says 9 o'clock p.m. That's what we used to do it on Sundays. We're changing that up. We just switched to Mondays. So because we have more time on Mondays. My son isn't here. Kyle has a weekend where he can get all of his junk done. We're all here. It's all good. So, Copper Wire, follow Kyle over there. Over there. KB Cooper. That's his Twitter. That's why I put the little birdie there. And that's also his that's also his Twitch account. Kyle,
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. Instead of zeros, put O's. And that is his Twitch account. So, that being said, check out Kyle. He is also on YouTube at one of those as well. Just search for KB Cooper. You'll find him. The other thing, too, he streams Tuesdays, Thursdays. I usually stream Monday nights. I'm going to see if there's going to be people playing with me tonight before I stream. But I try to get on and stream Wednesdays and Friday evenings. Kyle gets on and streams Tuesdays and Thursdays. Also, if Brian is still in the chat, go check out his channel. He just got started. If you need help with Destiny, he is one of those people that will help guide you in all that situation. So he will be coming into our fold very shortly. So very, very happy. Boom. So that being said, I'm ending this podcast. I got some editing to do because I accidentally cut my mic halfway through.
What about my shout outs? I don't get no shout outs.
I just shout you out?
No.
Okay,
You did.
go.
You didn't allow me to shout out. Hey guys, would you like to be interviewed? Would you like to talk with me for half an hour? And would you like your video to be featured on YouTube? If those answers are yes, shoot me, slide into my DMs with those interview requests. Not really though.
And dick pics.
I have my coworker. He actually started a podcast called 3Q Talks. You guys should check it out. But him and I kind of discussed, and we have a firm belief that like everybody in the world has like a story to tell something interesting that makes them unique, even when they don't believe it themselves. So he doesn't want to do anything with video. So I kind of politely asked, like, hey, do you mind if I do a video series kind of using the same premise as you but not necessarily copying, and he was kind of like, I'm honored to see that my ideas inspired you. Ironically so though, and I'm pretty sure I've vocally said this in places before, it was my idea first, but nonetheless, I will be looking to interview anybody. It doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter gender, it doesn't matter color. I don't care what your situation is. I want to hear your story. So I'm looking to have like 1 million of these interviews eventually at some point in my life. But if there's one thing I could do is to be able to take somebody else's story and maybe change the course of another person's life by helping them experience something via a surrogate situation in that. Like, hey, so-and-so went through that situation. I'm going to take their advice and never do that. Or be able to just change and help somebody. So that'd be
Sorry, I
fun.
didn't mean to distract you.
No, you're good. You knew exactly what you did, though. So
I did.
All right, cool. So with that, I'm done.
All right. I can't get this freaking chat to stop doing what it. There it is. That being said, please pop in. Let us know what you need. We have our project. I just sent Kyle our Project Forge logo. So we have official logo. It is not quite done. So it is what it is. But that will be up on our site. Check out forgeandgaming.com. That's where all of our stuff is. That is where our links to stuff is. You can also check out our YouTube as well. It is Project Forge. And actually, believe it or not, just like my 4-Core 8, you actually search Project Forge on YouTube and it pops up. We have an unboxing up there right now of the Marvel Ant-Man crate. Please enjoy that. Otherwise, everybody, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.